Welcome back, everybody, to our coverage of the Norway Chess 2017 tournament, round number 4, and what a round it has been, Peter Svidler. A lot of bloodshed.
Yeah, if nothing very, very dramatic happened in the soccer ranking game, we have 3 games finished by the end of the first time control. All 3 finished with white winning convincingly, I would say. In particular, Livon's victory over the reigning world champion will be talked about for days. It's probably seriously theoretically important, and also features a number of interesting sacrifices.
All these guys needed was for me to predict 5 draws, and look what they come up with. Livon had this fresh idea in the opening, bishop c2, intending that after bishop d6 you can go e4 without being bothered by dc4 followed by e5. Since his bishop is no longer attacked, you have this move, and after rook d8 he came up with a very nasty exchange and pawn sacrifice, putting this queen out of business and also getting long-term compensation, as dumb as it sounds, because all the pieces are bad. Even if you don't win the queen, like something bad could happen to black. Magnus had to return one pawn immediately, then offer another one, and Livon, the computer, did not approve of this, but went for the cutest way to play and won a very nice game in the end.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see exactly why the machine doesn't approve of this, because it does look very, very promising for white, and also resulted in a white victory. But Magnus probably did misplay his position somewhere around move 30, because he was in by that point also significant time trouble. You have to remember there is no increment in this tournament until move 61. But anyway, a very exciting victory for Livon, and as you mentioned during the stream, 2 in a row he won against Magnus in Norway chess. He also won last year. So the old rivalry heating up a bit, and Lev arguably is one of the hotter players right now in terms of form. He had a blistering performance in the Grenke Super Round Robin.
I don't know. I feel that's a bit too strong of a statement, even for you. Arguably one of the hotter players right now. I think you're overdoing it a bit there. But Hikaru Nakamura is arguably the tournament leader right now, because he did defeat Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. And I didn't really understand what happened in this game. Looked like a typical Najdorf position. White was just faster.
Yeah, I think maybe somewhere around here black could have done better. Maybe not allowing c5 early on. During the break, I thought about this a bit, because it was curious to me just how fast black's position deteriorated. And somewhat surprisingly, like white spends 2 moves improving, sort of rectifying what he's done in the opening. In the opening, he spent some time getting that to g3. And here he gives black 2 tempi to play f5 and d4, just to get the knight from g3 to c3. And yet white's strategic advantage on the queen side wins the day quite convincingly, or at least it did in the game, which is unusual. But I couldn't really come up with any particular way to improve on what MVL did. I'm sure there must be some ways for black not to lose on the spot, but it's not easy. Sicilian is a difficult opening.
Yeah, that's how it goes in the Najdorf sometimes. You can lose and not be sure what went wrong, which is why I would never ever play it. Anish Giri continues his English theoretical debate with Vishy Anand successfully. Vishy went for this line where Anish had already gotten a nice position against Grishuk. I am not sure about the details, but I like white's position out of the opening. 2 bishops, no real weaknesses. Then later on, it looked like Vishy had solved his problems, but Anish, bit like the T1000, just kept coming and coming, pushed his g-pawn.
But as Chat explained to us, perhaps the decisive mistake of the game came 2 moves sort of before the game finished. Queen takes h4 was required here from Vishy, with the idea of eventually picking up after queen takes g5. Black will eventually pick up on a6, and he will have a position with 3 pawns for the piece. Reasonably safe king the moment he plays f7, f6, and the white king is not safe at all. You probably, in practical terms, you probably pick white here anyway, because it's a piece and he has a passed pawn. But that was still very playable. Instead of which Vishy played knight c5, which just outright loses to g6.
And just a small public service announcement. I am reading the chat, guys, and I am doing my best to get the tech problems under control. We are sharing one microphone, which is right here in the middle. And probably I just get too excited about life, about all the exciting feedback in the chat, about the chess games, that I'm yelling too much. Therefore, we might not always have the exact same volume. And I'm sorry for that. I'll be a little more quiet.
Maybe I should start yelling, but...
Or we could get individual mics, but I like to share.
Yeah,
What else?
Sharing is caring. 2 games still running. Wesley saw we thought was significantly better against Sergei Karyakin. And the Caruana Kramnik position is, well, I'm no longer sure I know what's going on here. That's a lot of things happen there. In particular, I don't quite understand why g4 was required. Like, why would you cut off your own king? But I guess, the argument I guess Wesley is trying to make here is that black is so completely tied up that the rook from a2 at some point might be the only piece that can move. And then the king will get to h5 and g6 and wherever it wants to go anyway.
Wang Hao once did that to me. I didn't enjoy it. If your opponent's king comes to h5 and there's nothing you can do, then, like, yeah, life is
it's not a particularly enjoyable experience. I'm still not sure if like, white probably cannot be worse, but is white much better? Also, if I actually go rook c8 and rook a8 here. Let's try move by move. Let's see what happens. Rook c8. What does white do, even? Do you want a bishop c7? Do you want to play bishop c7, bishop c7, bishop d8? Probably not. The point I'm trying to make is I want to play rook a8 to a8, and then I want to play queen f7. And I want to replace my queen on a8 with a rook, and then the queen will become free and active. And then you might regret playing g4, because if that queen somehow gets teleported from e8 to d5, having played g4 may come back to bite you. Rook a8. Yeah, that stops queen f7 quite effectively. Let's show why. Yeah, probably needs to be done as well, because I think my plan, against a few passes, I think my plan was quite strong.
You did the old Bond villain mistake of telling me your whole plan.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd still take white. I'm scared.
Yeah, the pawn on e7 is extremely strong, obviously, but hang on a second. After rook b1, can I play rook e2?
Okay, you want to checkmate me?
Well, now I want to go rook a8 and ask you just how comfortable you're feeling. King f1, rook, I don't know, h2 or c2, I don't know which one.
h2 I take, probably.
Oh yeah, then c2. You have to go rook bb1, although, like, it's not horrible for white, because I'm still, once again, I'm some way away from achieving my queen. Hang on, I can play queen f7 here. The rook is not on e1. I actually made a lot of progress. Instead of all that, Sergei plays rook c2. I'm not sure what this is about, but I guess he just says, you cannot make any progress with your king cut off like this. I don't see any way you can improve your position if I threaten the mate with rook a1 the moment the rook leaves the first. I guess that's his point. And I can sort of believe that. I mean, h4 g5 is the only plan white has which doesn't involve the king, but I don't see how it makes much sense.
In other news, Pramod NVS is a big fan of the word apparently. Nate Young is saying, until I went premium, I thought Pramod was just what Jan called the voice inside his head. That's slightly offensive. And he says, I didn't know you were a real person. That part I agree with. I still do not believe that Pramod is a real person.
Oh, come on. That's harsh. There's all kinds of bio.
Okay.
There are all kinds of bio in his profile. I think you have to believe it's an actual bio, and
That was a joke. Easy Rider 27 says Pramod hasn't improved much. I couldn't agree more. Was that a compliment or not? I can never tell. But Pramod can take it all. That's the good thing about it.
yeah, one very good thing about Pramod is that he's
unbreakable.
Yeah, taking everything you throw at him and very in stride and really unfazed by all the harsh things you occasionally say about him. And the last game we haven't touched in a while. The king is suddenly on g4. We were sort of discussing that when Vladimir played king h6. We were sort of joking that the king might go all the way to g4, but this is exactly what happened. White is still a pawn up, and black still does not really have any direct sources of counterplay because the bishop on b6 is so dead. But how does white win? That, I think, is the big question here. For, I think, the last 5 moves in Time Trouble, players were just shuffling the pieces back and forth, hoping to get to time to move 40. I think the only way of counterplay for black I can see is rook h8 connected with the idea of g5, hg, rook h1. And it already has been stopped by Fabiano once. He reacted to rook h8 by placing the rook back on a1. Whereas for white, I think the only plan is maybe rook c6, rook c4, c6. And that also sort of explains rook a3, because if we can go actually to move 34, Fabiano already here tried getting the rook to c6, and it was immediately demonstrated to him why you need to protect this this pawn on b5. He had to go back to b4, and then this weird shuffling commenced. And now he goes rook a3, I think with the idea of, against the pass, playing rook c4, and if rook e5, you can now protect this pawn with the other rook, and still play rook c6 next move.
Looks to me like Fabiano will eventually make progress.
But once again, let's say we go rook h8, and if you actually proceed with the declared threat, how clear is this?
I have no idea how you've manufactured all of this, and I have no idea how clear it is either. Let's push the
check.
Let's play
Rook
the
f1.
legal move. Let's push the pawn.
Rook d8.
Let's go here.
That is a bit of an issue.
I want to checkmate you.
And I actually don't have any way of fighting with that. That's... yeah, that's a bit of an issue. I did not see that coming somehow.
Fabi's in the driver's seat. A lot of commotion in the chat. I don't know what commotion means, but it feels appropriate in this situation. I am Preciso. Does not want any more Pramod talk. We can do a little more Preciso talk. Preciso, what list of topics would you consider appropriate? What else is going on? Jimmy Ray is asking, isn't the knight better than the bishop in this closed position? Yeah, especially than this bishop, because this bishop isn't doing anything. But black has this pawn triangle. Is that a triangle? What do you call such formation? Half a star?
Yeah, I'm not sure it has a specific name, but as we mentioned earlier during the broadcast, if this bishop somehow actually wakes up and becomes a real piece.
Preciso says chess. So just chess, or can we venture off into any other topics? Like, how do you feel about the movie talk, which we sometimes do? Sorry, I interrupted.
No, you didn't. I was rehashing what we were discussing earlier about this position. No, white, if white does nothing, he will never run any risks. But I'm not sure you are winning this position with white is not easy at all. Also, I'm wondering. No, but that probably is never fast enough, because another thing about this position is that black more or less has to keep one rook on the d file at all times, because if you allow c4 suddenly and the pawn gets to c5, the bishop just dies. And that is relevant in the context. I was wondering if black can play g5, hg, king g5 in some position, and then play rook h8 and rook dh6. And then I realized that once rook dh6 is on the board, c4 will just win the game on the spot. So yeah, I don't think there is much in terms of counterplay available to Vladi here, but breaking down his position will not be easy either.
Nah, Fabi's gonna do it, no worries. Reading the chat that LeBron bashing is not allowed. Yeah, it's been a tough day for me. I woke up early in the morning, like 7 maybe. I went to watch the basketball game with my daughter, who's gonna be a big NBA fan. Cavs won, so that made me very unhappy. Even though we get to watch more NBA finals, which is good. Then I went to the gym, was outclassed because I had to do this weird circle thing by some 60-year-old woman. Then I went here, there's tech problems and people are complaining that we talk about Pramod and then I'm talking too loud. So yeah, it's been a tough day at the office. Probably Magnus Carlsen's day has been slightly tougher. He is sitting at 1.5 out of 4 and he must be asking himself, what's happening? What happened to my mojo? I'm the world champion. I've been world number 1 for 7 years in a row. And now I'm at 1.5 out of 4, like Wesley So is closing in on me. What's going on?
Well, I have no answer to that. But yeah, he's not been his dominant self, that's for sure.
It is odd because I still feel that like he's the best player, but you gotta show it. In the Blitz, he's just crushed everybody, like on pure touch. Hard to mess with Magnus, but his results recently have not been up to his lofty standards.
Yeah, and
Anish won a game.
breaking news, stop the press. He actually played a very nice game, and as you mentioned, it is somewhat surprising that for the second game in a row he is getting more or less exactly what he wants from a sideline of the English, which does not seem particularly world-beating, but that's a subject for another day, and he outcalculated Vishy when it counted, which is not something you can say very often about anyone.
Yeah, Vishy not having a great tournament, I believe 1 out of 4 now. Yeah, Anish, not the first time he beats Vishy in the English, once again, showing good homework. I am not sure. Can I get fined by the NBA? Probably they can't fine me, right? Because I sort of agree with Spills, who says in the chat that it feels slightly rigged that the referees will do anything to prolong the series.
Was there a clear-cut case for that statement in today's game?
I don't know, I'm very biased, but Cleveland did get 20 free throws in the first quarter and like there were a lot of shenanigans. Who knows? Like financially it makes sense, right? Every game the league and the clubs make millions, so if it's over in 4, it's probably less good. But I'm not sure if there's any briefing or it's just home court advantage. What do we know? No such issues in chess. They play 9 rounds. There's no money to be made anyway. So, no worries about the referees rigging Norway chess. I would guess, even though they could play a role in this one, because no draw offers or acceptances are allowed. So some players have done it. I believe no game has ended 0-0 yet. But maybe the refs with a little incentive. 0-0. This is a rook endgame, 2 vs 2. You cannot agree draw.
Yeah, people say Peter don't encourage him, but I am actually becoming a bit of a convert. I'm worried I might develop yet another hobby, as if I don't have enough hobbies. I've watched a little bit of the finals together with Jan because I do wake up reasonably early, so I catch some of like the back end of Jan's watching in the morning. I catch some of that, and seems like an interesting game. I might, and this is a scary thought because honestly, I don't have time for my existing hobbies, and one more serious hobby would probably be completely backbreaking.
Yeah. Cardinal Super Blinds is saying, was a great game last night. Nah, painful stuff. GM Aryan says, thanks to Peter Svidler, I'm addicted to chess books. Have you written any chess books or recommended any?
I keep on saying
the love of chess books.
I keep on saying people read chess books, it's good for you, and I stand by that statement. But I don't think I can be credited by, for anyone's abiding love of chess books. I don't think my interviews do enough in that respect. You probably were likely to like chess books without me, is what I'm trying to say.
Checking my phone, as you do these days. Pramod is asking, Jan wakes up late, right? Not anymore, no. My daughter is up at like, now, when the sun comes out early, she's up at like 6:30, so I don't really have a choice. She demands attention.
Yeah, this is what
I
happened to me.
wake up quite early.
Yeah. 15 years ago, I was, it was very, very normal for me to get up at, I don't know, 11, 12. And now, even on rest days, even away from home, like if I don't wake up at 7, I feel that already this is like a moral victory for me. Yeah. Parenthood changes many things, including sleep schedules.
Yeah, the good old days when I managed not to see sunlight for 3 months in a row without any problems. Times have changed. And not just because of Hamburg climate.
To briefly return to chess, I think this very likely just ends in a draw now. Because I don't think the idea of playing Rook e2 here is particularly attractive, and I think King f1 is played not with the idea of Rook e2, but with the idea of repeating King f1, King g1 for the rest of the game. And Black also has no way to make any progress, so...
Let's go home.
Well,
feels like a bit of a missed opportunity for Wesley.
Yeah, and people in chat were suggesting that allowing knight f6 was a large mistake, and I can definitely believe that, because that knight was on f8, and if you just defend against this one positional idea, go, I don't know, rook e2, rook e4, even king f2 maybe, for all I know. Just lock it in on d7. Black, I think, will find it very, very difficult to find any source of counterplay.
There's nothing you can do, right? You can give the exchange.
Yeah, you can give this exchange at any point, but it doesn't really improve your situation drastically. And White will eventually just roll Black over in the center.
Just do whatever.
Any of those moves, yeah. But once the knight landed on d5, it became a whole new game. And in fact, yeah, after e6, Sergei, I was advocating f6 queen h5, but he decided against it. He played for this. And there's really no defense against knight takes b4, which is what happened next.
Tony Rose saying, I'm from Cleveland, and I almost wish the Cavs lost last night just to put us out of our misery. You're not a believer? I don't know. I'm nervous. Cleveland wins game 5, and we're right where we were last year.
Yeah, I already saw, the beginning of those jokes on Twitter this morning when I woke up. So people saying the Cavs lead the final series 1 against 3 and so on and so forth. But yeah, would be surprising if it happened again, just in terms of pure likelihoods.
Yeah, the nerds are still saying it's a 1% chance for Cleveland, but you never know. Rook ba4, does he want to take? Put the worst bishop on earth out of his misery?
I think maybe he wants to triangulate a bit, because g5, h5, rook h1, he now has rook a3, a1. This is why the rook is...
that's his point.
That's sort of his point, but that's part of his point, because I think he wants to play rook c4 with the black rook on a slightly worse square. I don't know why h7 is worse than h8 though. We can play rook h7 and rook c4. Once again, g5 exists, and we kind of thought g5 was losing there. At least you mated me very, very convincingly there with the rook on c4. So maybe you can actually allow it, but Fabi for the time being doesn't really want to allow it yet.
Fair enough. Wow, Battery Bob, thinly veiled brag. Just returned after a workout. I feel really bad for Magnus, but boy do I admire Levon. If someone deserves to challenge Levon, Levon is indeed worthy. This must be a candidate for game of the century. That's maybe a bit much, but it was a very nice game.
No, this game will be remembered, both for its context and also for the manner in which he approached it. And there's a lot to discuss there. It was a very, very nice, nicely played game by Lev. That's for sure.
And it's like Kasparov said, the chess world is a better place when Levon Aronian is in form. Seems like he has been in form for quite a while now. he does deliver some very nice games, especially with white. He's been lethal, like
Yeah.
showing nice preparation, left, right, and sometimes center. Rook b2. It's
No,
nothing to do, right? Can you go?
I honestly think King G1 is the next move in this game. I think Sergei spent some time figuring out if he has a plan, but well, I mean, none of his pieces have any moves apart from this rook on the second, so it's unlikely he has much in the way of a killer plan here. And as for white, if the rook leaves the e file, if you play rook c1 here, just if you become frivolous for 1 second after queen f7, I really feel like you could at some point regret this quite seriously. Oh, nice. Didn't even see this with a threat, but yeah, it definitely is a threat. Which is why the rook has to stay on the e file, I believe. Allowing queen f7 would be a large mistake. And yeah, I think king g1 rook c2 is really not out of the question here.
And wow, this is horrible news if true. Adam West died. May he rest in peace. This is because I've had a very tough childhood, as we all know. I did not watch TV for like the first 9 years of my life. And then when we settled down in Spain, we finally got a television. And the only show, two shows I watched on a regular basis. One was Gol a Gol, a highlight of the Spanish First Football League. And the other one was the Batman series from the 1960s with Adam West, where they would like hit people and would say boom, squash, kaboom on the screen. So yeah, that instilled the deep love of television and watching nonsense all day long into me that I have maintained until this day and made me stop wasting my time reading books and other nonsense. So I will forever be grateful to that Batman show. May Adam West rest in peace. Is he's still gonna be on Family Guy?
Probably, yeah. I don't.
He's the mayor of Quahog. Anyway, off topic, but yeah, that's sad news. And bunch of people joining us only now. Fuchsia just came home. What are you people doing with your Saturdays? Do you have lives? Do you have family members to visit? Do you go on excursions? We know Battery Bob went for a workout. What's everybody else's excuse?
There is no excuse.
Let's switch to the Fabcam. I think we need this full screen. Mr. Fabi. Fabi does look thin. He might be crushing Anish in the pound for pound strongest player on the planet competition currently. Because Anish is deceptively tall. He's like 180, and I think he used to weigh very little, like 57 kilos maybe. But Fabi has him beat by like 40 rating points and might be close to him in the pound for pound thing. If you don't speak metric system, my apologies. I never figured out how many pounds are 1 kilo, because it's not 2, surprisingly. Do you know this stuff?
Well, it's 2.1, I would guess, because a pound is 454 grams. So 2 pounds is...
How many grams? 454?
454, yeah.
Ah, with that information, I might be able to, like, figure it out in the future. I still don't know how many pounds or kilos either of these dudes are. What about Kramnik? He's tall. He must be 90 kilos at least. Probably more. No offense meant.
That would be, I think, an optimistic assessment, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I weigh 91 kilos and a half. In case you were always wondering. Which you probably weren't.
Yeah, I don't know what people will do with that info, frankly.
Me neither. But it's good to share it. Get it off your chest. Especially off my chest. I would like to get some of it. Mr. Dodgy is saying.
I think
Sorry.
we're much better off discussing movies, Jan.
No, I liked what Mr. Dodgy is saying. I'm not laughing about my chest. Mr. Dodgy is saying, I was watching my Saturday Mentalist marathon. That is the one excuse that I will actually accept. Okay. Can't go wrong with little mentalist binge watching. Like, who's that Red John fella? I really need to know. Oh, boy. Hanka saying, I'm surprised Jan even knows his way. Sorry, go ahead.
A5.
Finally.
Okay, we finally have something to discuss. I really don't understand what was threatened though. Why would Vlad feel he needs to do this?
Maybe he felt it was Zugzwang.
Rook h7.
Or he thought this is a big threat. That's somewhat unlikely. But
Yeah, now
Chichi did.
yeah, maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it just never works in these lines. But g7, rook d8 once again. Like here, if I
My same tricky.
it's the same trick.
Trick.
It's sorry, exactly the same position. E3 maybe here. But you have rook e6. Yeah.
Sadi101 says, watch Gotham, guys. I've watched season 1, quite enjoyed it. And then, I don't know, life came around. I had other stuff to do, so not up to date.
Well,
but I thought
I
it was
am
decent.
obviously watching Gotham and all the
Obviously.
rest of this bubblegum. Come on. Of course I am.
No, Gotham.
Otherwise, I would have to, do things with my life. If I need to have this, safety cushion against productive occupations of any kind.
But can you listen to your exorcism books while watching Gotham? Or are those two mutually exclusive activities? Or watching other TV shows, let's say.
No, I can do. Depending on the size of my screen, I can do a number of other things on the machine while I'm watching Gotham. But at some point there was this solution advertised on the internet, which allowed you to have like USB connected additional screens you could sort of attach to your main screen to have two small screens to either side of your main screen of your notebook, and I was very, very interested in that, but it seems to be untested and somewhat expensive, so I've currently given up on that idea. But that would improve the quality of my time wasting significantly, because then you could really go to town, opening all kinds of tabs and watching, like, I don't know, 2 streams at the same time and Gotham in the middle or something.
But why do you do that? Multitasking does not really exist, or does it?
Well, I know this theory, but I still, like, left to my own devices, I still try to do all this stuff. I feel like if my time wasting at the time only features like one thing that I'm currently doing, I feel like I'm not doing it efficiently enough. Okay. So I aim for at least 2 at the same time.
I know the desire. I'm listening to some podcast and I'm trying to read on my Kindle at the same time, but I can't do it. I either don't know what I'm listening to or I don't know what I'm reading. So at some point I always find out it's pointless. I think decide.
Reading and listening is completely impossible. Yeah, but you can do some, let's say, gaming and listening, and that does seem to work. I can tell from experience.
Yeah, if you play some mindless stuff here, like my little balls with a Z. Not what you're thinking. Game and reading, yeah, that is possible, but kind of pointless. I don't know, I read some smart book, one of these smart books at some point, and it said, there is no multitasking, there's just switching really fast back and forth because of stuff in brain, like, connected that way. I'm a bit of a scientist when it comes to that stuff. Like, I read all the smart books. And yeah, we'll still try, I guess, yeah?
For what?
Do many things at once.
Yeah, we at least I tend to make a try, but yeah, I'm aware of the theory that it's all fake and it's not actual multitasking, but call it whatever you like. Would sleeping while watching Gotham count as multitasking? No, I generally like I combine sleeping with listening to audiobooks, but not watching videos or doing any of that stuff.
I'm not going to inquire why you think sleeping and listening to audiobooks is a good idea, unless it
No,
is
they
that you
kind
fall
of
asleep
flow.
while.
Yeah, they flow one into the other. Yeah.
But don't you have like a sleep timer? Like I normally put on my podcast and then I tell it stop in 30 minutes or something, so in case I fall asleep.
I keep on forgetting to do that. Yeah.
I feel it improves your sleep quality, because if you sleep well, something is like being put into your ear constantly, you still feel sleepy when you wake up.
No, I don't have that issue. I just like I wake up and the book is finished. Like this has happened more than once. Like you wake up and it tells you rate this book. You've now finished this book. Please rate it. Send us your rave review. And I actually have to rewind and try and find my spot.
What else is going on? Wesley's game might get interesting, we are being told.
Okay, so he decided not to.
H4, here you go.
Yeah, Wesley is ambitious. If he feels there's still something to play for, he will not be repeated. I just don't really understand what he is threatening by this, because like let's say I go rook c2. You play g5, I take twice.
Does he want to play g5?
Just takes.
Check.
King h7.
Yeah, I don't really have a follow-up, I just like saying check.
Maybe king h8. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe
Here
some.
I might get checkmated. No,
But there's
that would
queen
be
e4,
pretty-
queen e4 check, which picks
Yeah, that
up.
was my plan actually. Forgot about it.
Oh, Sergei already played rook b4, so he is actually actively trying to stop this.
Sad to let this king roam though. No, however, I can't make it to h4 anymore.
Yeah, but why does this stop g5 anyway? Like if white wants to do it regardless, what do black play in reply? Rook g4
Do
maybe.
not know.
What about rook g4?
Yeah, that's, oops.
That's probably a bit too far. You can take on e8 and play g6, but then you're really all in on never losing any of these pawns. Like rook h4, you go king g2, I guess. Rook h5, rook f1, rook g5, check king h3. I don't know what this is. Probably is some kind of a draw.
Zugzwang, but it's not really Zugzwang yet.
But yeah, I mean, king h8, but also after rook a8, maybe rook b1, b8 was decent.
Yeah, we might win somehow, right?
Yeah, it's not impossible. Also, we might lose, but
Yeah, one of those things could happen.
are we missing something immediate after g5? Let's look. Maybe we're blundering some pawns straight
Hard
away.
to believe.
hg, rook g4 is probably stronger. Yeah. Yeah. Because now after if you do the same after g6, rook g5, you will actually lose the f5 pawn, and that makes a large difference. h4 pawn wasn't that important. f5 pawn is kind of important here. Although even here, let's say rook
G6
b1.
pawn, very important.
Rook b1. King e. No, but after king e2,
E2.
there's mate on the back rank there, so you can't actually do that. So let's go king e2. And I want to play rook b8 against any move, even if you, and you can't even stop it. Actually, I think we win.
This looks, yeah,
I
the
think this
rook
is game over.
dominated. Yep. Let's illustrate why. If you, let's say, try this, takes rook e7, rook b8 is a bad idea. After fe, there's
Well,
never
any
anything
move,
we
yeah.
can do.
Yeah, rook d1 probably wins faster, but pretty
Yeah,
much any
well,
move wins. Yeah.
And while
And if you start with the other one, yeah, obviously.
say this, rook b8,
Yeah.
takes, and we can't get it there.
No,
in
but my
time.
point is, even if you could get to the e file, I'm not sure it was a draw anyway. Because the king could run.
Good point. But I'm saying we can't get there, even if we wanted to.
Yeah, the rook is just so completely dominated by this d6 bishop. It's like a study position of some sort. People are inquiring about game of the day already. That's mildly.
It's greatly frustrating.
Yes, mildly is not the right word, but probably this one. Yeah, and let's look at ba6. I mean, let's try and figure out if we can take. Come on, c5. Otherwise, there's no point in the previous move. a7. I'm wondering if he wants to take and go rook hd8. I think maybe that's his idea, but it probably loses. Because a8 queen, I wanted to try rook takes d4, that was my point. I'm not sure if it works, but I was very curious if maybe it actually does work, because I'm threatening rook d3 double mate, against which I don't currently see any defense. Like rook d4, rook d4. And I think the king on g4 is so safe that there's just no defense against rook d3 double mate here. It is an unusual construction.
Double mate should give you 2 full points too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I have a feeling knight
this,
e6
for
in this
example,
position just wins, yeah. Takes, yeah, and we should be able to stabilize here. Hang on a second, yeah. Yeah, rook a8, rook d6, any rook to a4, and then slowly but surely we should be able to free ourselves, yeah?
Yeah, this looks fine.
But, hang on, king h3.
Still annoying.
More than a little, actually. More than a little. I'm hinting that I want to go king g2 and then sacrifice another piece to take on f2, and I will have all of my, and Fabi already didn't take. Yeah, let's take a look at this. Like for instance, yeah, we should probably stop. But there was a.
Oh, sorry, I thought you.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We probably should have paid some attention to it whilst it was still a legal discussion, but there you go. But now with the pawn on a5 in particular, how is white making any progress?
I don't understand anything. Which is a pity.
One of the better questions I've seen in chat has just appeared. Will Carlsen become world champion?
I don't know. It's really hard to become world champion when you are world champion. He could lose his title and then regain it. But he is still the world champion, even though he's been struggling a little bit. And he's mentioned a couple times, I think some years ago, but he certainly mentioned that the world number 1 means even more to him than the world champion title. And that world number 1 spot, for the first time forever, really, it feels like it could be in some jeopardy, right?
Yeah, it's no longer.
Let's check I'll check the list, the live rating list. He can't have a big lead anymore. To a 25, okay, it's still 15 points or 12 and a half points. Until Krumnik, Wesley So, 2-8-12, Karana 2-8-07. Oh yeah, that's 2 games basically. So,
yeah, that's not a lot. Yeah, I'm struggling to come to grips with this position. I feel like we're not doing it any kind of justice, and you could argue we're just not really covering it properly. But that's because I honestly don't understand what either side really wants from this. People are asking about rook takes a5, and that actually is a very serious discussion. Like, was rook takes a7 a threat? And if it was, why didn't Fabi take on a5 with,
yeah, that's
aiming for a very similar type position?
That's what I want to, because this G5, somehow the timing never seemed to work. Or maybe here is the best version we've seen yet, because I don't have this mating pattern, but still works.
You'll still play Rook A6. It's actually exactly the
it's
same.
always the same.
You're playing Rook A6 from A7, you will play Rook A6 from A5. It's the same position. Yeah, so... No, this
No miracles here. This would be nice, but it's not quite forced.
King anywhere. Ivan, I think, is the simplest, yeah.
Yeah, white is quite far advanced.
With the queen appearing next move, black will look very threatening for about a move and a half, and then white will start giving mate, and it will no longer be all that impressive.
I like Mr. Dodgy. He's saying, Peter, could you analyze each game in depth? Live for maybe 5 hours, then put it in your recap video. Also throw in some Grunfeld analysis for funsies.
Yeah, that's that does seem like what people are kind of suggesting, and you know, on some level it's flattering because there is demand for what we're doing, but that's only
Speak
one level.
for yourself.
That's only one level, and mastering enthusiasm for recap videos is. Today there will be no issues because I honestly believe that the Iranian game is interesting enough to want to record something about it even after, let's say, 6 hours of live commentary. It will not be easy, but I don't think enthusiasm will be an issue there. It's just about stamina. But yeah.
What does that word mean? Enthusiasm?
It's a third word in a show name.
Yeah.
But
I still don't know what it means. I watch a lot of shows where I don't get the title. The Wire, I still don't know what a wire is. Is it like literally this thing? Wiretap?
well, I mean, they wanted a catchy name, and it is a lot of it is. If you look at it as a police procedural, a lot of it is about wiretaps, but in general, I think they wanted a catchy all-purpose name, and it does cover. It has the right sound for it. For that show.
Mm-hmm.
People are explaining what the wire means to us.
Okay.
We really appreciate those efforts, guys. Keep them coming. And chat has shamed me into drinking water from the glass. Sad days.
Who is that Chad you keep talking about? Vladdy looks confident. Then again, he normally is confident.
Whoa, he really
Took
did
something.
go. He really did go for a lot of structure change.
Really didn't like that pawn.
Well, he more than anything else, he wants the bishop to actually have moves, which it now does. Bishop c7 is now a thing he can do at some point.
Finally, freedom. There's an important question in the chat by I Throw Rocks at Blind Kids. Peter, how big are your hands?
Big enough.
Could you show us? Yeah, that's reasonable. So, if you were a Bond villain, your name would not be Small Finger.
No, I really don't think so.
Why is that in my head? It's probably Colbert. I think Colbert made that joke about Trump the other day. I don't know.
No, everybody's making that joke about Trump here. I was about to make that joke about Trump, and I probably shouldn't, because there are better comedians working out there. But yeah,
I feel like
I wanted to inquire what the unit of hand size was, and if it's one Trump, then mine are more than one Trump is what I was going for. But seems a bit lame.
back to the program.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I'm showing my skills. I'm an X-Man.
It's making a disturbing sound, but I don't think if
I'm
it
a bit
carries
of a
properly.
mutant. Maybe I should have played the piano. Okay, back.
This will be the stuff of nightmares.
Hopefully.
Is Wesley planning to go g5 and h6? Or g5 and f6?
I think that's his plan. Breakthrough.
Okay, we should maybe calculate this thing.
Yeah, sure.
I like the glee with which you approach this suggestion.
Oh, Mr. Dodgy, just after I said I liked him, now he's trying to Pepe shame us. He says, I bet Pepe has no problem mustering enthusiasm for recap videos. Yeah, but he's also not human. He's like a different kind of X-Men than me. Like I can do to this, and Pepe has this infinite motor, which might be more useful than my skill.
Yeah, arguably it is. Let's go, g5.
Is it my move? Yep, okay.
hg,
Okay,
h6,
okay.
queen takes g6, fg, rook e8. Who is winning and why? King h8. That's one of the weirder pawn structures I've seen in my life, I have to say.
Black's fine, no?
I'm not sure. Also, in the current position, just double click on the current position. We can go king g1.
Very nice.
Assuming you play rook c2. You probably have other moves, but for some reason I'm assuming you play rook c2. Maybe you play king h8 actually. Why didn't he play king h8 on the previous move anyway? Doesn't matter. My point was after rook c2, I would like to do the same thing. g5, h6.
h6?
Well, hg, h6. But
Okay.
I mean, I'm assuming you will make the same moves again. Queen takes, fg. Like honorary note goes to g takes h6 here, which is not entirely ridiculous,
Yeah,
but
probably
probably loses.
losing.
Probably loses, but it is a move. But anyway, rook e8, h7 check, king h8. I want to have rook b1 in this position. That was my point.
Okay.
To create maybe in some positions the idea of rook b8, but here with black having two connected passers on the king side, it might not be fast enough. Like king f1, king g2. I'm kind of losing the g6 pawn. Yeah, that's not great. That's not great at all. Okay.
How did we get here? Oh yeah, this all the breakthroughs.
I don't know if Grand Chess Master 2016, when he says guys shut up about politics, if he's talking to us or the people in chat.
No, he's talking to the chat.
Yeah, people in chat will find out what Banhammer is very, very fast if they talk about politics, which it seems unfair because it was actually us who brought it up, and we opened the way gate for all the politics discussions.
I can't remember. Did we bring up politics?
Well, we briefly,
hand size
we
of
briefly
it.
talked about the hand size in the political context. Yeah. Yeah. The thing about this position is that if White wants to continue playing for a win, he might start running serious risks, because you do need to give up some more material to continue playing for a win here, and. I'm not sure if Wesley feels he needs to, but I think it's more about objective evaluation than anything else. If Wesley feels something here is winning, he will try it. If he feels it's just
if he feels something's winning, he'll try it.
well, you don't actually know if those positions with the pawns on g6 and h6. I don't think you can be absolutely convinced they're winning. But if he feels they give him very, very good winning chances, yes, he will go for it. But if he just feels it's a way to continue with unclear results, could be better, could be worse, or you can just play king g1, king f1 ad nauseum, I think he probably won't, but we'll see. What's happening in Fabi's game?
I don't know. Nothing, it looks like.
Not much since c5 and rook takes c6, yeah?
Let's go full screen to the Fabster.
Sure. There will be a very, very serious time trouble in that game.
Is Kramnik's head like twice the size of Fabiano's? I don't mean the brain, just pure heads.
Yeah, optically it does look like that, doesn't it?
Does. That could be an illusion because Fabiano is sitting further away from the camera. It's like I sound louder than you. But that's only because I yell more and I'm closer to the mic. Karl is heckling me about my broken heart because of the non-sweep. But Karl, I used to like Mr. Dodgy, but then he, I don't know, he did something to fall out of favor with me in the last 2 minutes. So now Karl is the only chat member that I like. No offense to all of you other people in the chat. No, I shouldn't say that. I love all of you equally, just Karl a little more. And so he's allowed to do that.
Yeah. That's the kind of message you want to project.
Yep.
No favoritism followed by a little bit of favoritism. Right
Exactly.
there. Have I lost a +5 winning game? Yes. I would even go as far as to say famously.
I can't remember. Like you losing a +5 winning game.
Game 3 in Baku?
Oh, that, yeah, that's true.
I'm not sure if the question was specifically aimed to make me better remember that game, but probably not. But yeah, I do remember it quite vividly.
Shandy is saying, Fabi is very skinny compared to Vlad. If you have seen them in person, another thinly veiled brag. I have my radar on for the thinly veiled brags. He's saying,
Yeah,
I've seen these people in person.
And Fabi finally decides to sacrifice
Finally,
this
he
exchange.
sacrificed an exchange in person.
Which is an interesting choice here, because yes, he will now have 3 connected pass pawns on the queen side, but on the other hand, black rooks will have more files for reasonably active counterplay. I take, I can even go rook b8, drive the rook all the way back to a2, for instance. And
yeah, the timing seems a little odd now that these rooks have targets and all that.
Does not seem clear to me at all, frankly. Rook a2, rook cb6. Force the b pawn to move, then let's start attacking the c3 pawn.
Do I need to go rook a2? I really don't want to.
We can play g5 first, but I will go. Yeah, g5 might be a decent idea here, but I can probably attempt to do the same anyway, like rook c7. I really want to force you to go rook a2, basically, is what I'm trying to get across.
Bring up the board. Rook c7. I want to checkmate you as usual. I'm a bit of a one-trick pony with that one.
I keep on forgetting this is a thing.
It's a thing.
That is actually a thing. Okay, so I need to go rook cb6 instead, but then he will play b4, I guess.
Kiftir says, hello Jan, with one L, but I guess he still means hello. Hello Kiftir. I was saying hi to everybody. Hi Don G, hi Karl Nering, hi Der Henker, hi Fuchsia, hi Zen Lerner, hi I Throw Rocks at Blind Kids, hi Pramod, hi Farm Bullet, Feeder Master, hi Shandy, hi Nate Young, hi Payback. Go ahead. Just a bunch of shoutouts.
Very well played. Are there any chess groupies was the question in there among all the highs
Yes.
and the lows? Yeah, there are some chess groupies, but is groupies the acceptable term these days?
What other terms would you use?
I don't know, but it seems so 1960s to be calling anyone groupies.
Yeah, I always felt like there aren't enough. Payback is asking, Jan, what is your favorite TV series? Actually, it changed yesterday. It used to be Terrace House, Boys and Girls in the City, but now I have a feeling Samurai Gourmet might be in the top spot. Like, I haven't seen much of it yet, but yeah, I think it's up there. I'm joking, Pramods don't even go watch these shows.
Yeah, we watched like the first 10 minutes of the first episode ever, and
Nate Young is wondering, Peter, has anyone tattooed you on themselves?
that's an extremely disturbing idea. Please don't put these ideas in my head. I mean, I'm struggling as it is. And
I don't know, it sounds like the plot of many serial killer movies somehow.
yeah, Wesley did find a way to improve potentially quite dramatically. If he started by playing bishop c7 and move 45, creating a very strong idea of bishop d8. Sergei replied by playing rook d2.
Why do we keep ignoring that? We've mentioned the option, but somehow, yeah.
Yeah, in this position it never really occurred to us. And here he went bishop f4.
Why didn't he go back?
Bishop takes h6. Yeah, bishop h6. He can still do it here.
Why can't we still take?
But then with take, we go rook e8 and the g4 pawn will fall. So it's not as great here as it would have been in some other positions.
More interesting questions. Ninja Kiwi 17 is asking, Jan, do you like to eat TVs? Like a television? Why would you eat that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that
edible televisions?
Yeah.
Question doesn't make sense.
And people continue suggesting incredibly disturbing things to do with me and tattoos. Stop for the love of all that's holy.
Danger Mo 5 is saying, my sister is a tattooist. If anyone is considering a Peter inking.
This is getting very dark now.
Why? I feel like people should have your face on their necks.
It's lucky for me I always bring a reasonably full bag of meds to my every lengthy trip. So I will probably be able to sleep tonight. But...
Do you say meds or meth?
Meds.
Okay. Spills says Kramnik does not go down easily. Very resilient. Yeah.
But this we thought this... But those were...
Finally, we got this.
But isn't this is exactly the same thing. We thought, but maybe g6 rook c7 is what he means. To
Then
always have...
I can't get my mechanism.
You can't get your mating mechanism anymore, yeah.
Go away.
Rook... Well, g7. Let's make sure we don't blunder anything.
Yeah, this maybe was not progress. Okay, if I don't have my mating mechanism, I'm out of ideas. Yeah, this is a nice resource.
This is not really a winning attempt by black, because after rook e1, rook f1, you can always go king e3 back, but it does feel like this could hold.
Sorry. Pramod NVS is saying, Peter, did you ever grow a beard? A stylish one? Question mark. You never know with Pramod.
Me like it. Yeah, I have a feeling, like, if this turns out to be like a really elaborate level...
I'm not sure.
I mean, likelihood is it isn't. But that would be one of the better levels of all time, I think, if Pramod turned out to be a level. It's like, high quality performance act what he's doing there.
Not since Andy Kaufman would we have seen anything like Pramod. Anyway, what's the answer to his question? Did you ever grow a stylish beard?
No. Well, I mean, I'm sitting here with a beard, and he's asking, and this is like the kind of a beard I grow. I never do anything to it. Like we've had this discussion with Olga, and we're kind of in agreement on this. We don't like the idea of styling beards.
Okay.
It should sort of grow naturally, and then when it starts itching, sort of past the point of tolerance, you shave it off and you start growing it again. That's like my MO in respect to beards. d5 played by Fabi. I guess you go rook d6, d7 anyway, yeah. People are sending me regards in Russian in chat. Yeah, I noticed. I'm not going to reply in Russian though. I think it will confuse people.
Yep. Payback is asking, Jan, are you planning on making a series on a white opening? I really enjoyed the black series against d4. In general, there is a bit of an imbalance. We have more series for black than for white on the site, which I don't think is a coincidence, because in a way it's easier to do a repertoire for black.
Much
First of all, because it's easier to equalize and to find an advantage. And secondly, you have a feeling if you do a series for black, it might last for a while. While if you give some idea for white, nowadays it's normally ideas for one game and not like some steady advantage, then okay, people can do it once. It's like this old give a man a fish and he can beat a fish for a day, but teach a man to fish and he can beat many fish. And it's much harder to teach people to fish with the white pieces. That's why I sometimes entertain the idea, but it's very tough to do, especially in a video series format where you want stuff to last for a while. Maybe it would be more appropriate in a like this opening clinic format where you can say, this is an idea, but it's very hard to last.
I did one series from the white side, and it was a very, very difficult challenge because it looked to me like I wasn't really like delivering on the promise the title claims. Like I was in my 6D3 Spanish series. There was a number of lines where I would say, this is what I currently believe is the best option you have with white, but I firmly believe black is completely fine. And
that's not what people want to hear normally, which is the truth. But
I'm not lying. This is exactly what I think, and this is what I played in my own games. I'm being entirely honest, but you still feel like you're cheating the viewers out of some value there, which you aren't. Not really, but
no, I did it. Yeah, I did a series a long time ago, which I was happy with, but no one really liked it. Which my mom always told me, as long as you're happy, Jan. Where I was trying to explain, I will call it whatever, how to build your D4 repertoire. That for me, it's really much more like move ordering your opponent and getting them out of their normal repertoire, out of their comfort zone. I was talking about whatever. If they play the Grunfeld, it's interesting to play one C4 or one knight f3 and choose one of the anti-Grunfelds. If they're a Nimzo player and they don't like C4, E5, maybe you can try one C4 and E6, knight C3. There's added options. But generally, it's very hard with white to just give, play this line and you will get a slight advantage. Because, you feel like you're sort of lying to people. You've seen it in the World Championship match. There are no lines which you play every game and they give you a slight advantage, else these dudes would do it.
Yeah.
Even though following Levon today looked like an interesting, this is the sort of ideas that
but once again, this is a tremendously interesting idea. But
imagine the video series, Bishop C2. I'm sure the computer says 0-0, and then how do you do the series?
No, but but even this, you feel first of all, E6 A6 is not greatly popular, and secondly, now everyone will queue up to analyze this. And if there is a drawback to Bishop C2, people will eventually discover what it is. So the second game in that line will, extremely likely will not be anywhere near as efficient as the first one. So
modern chess, very tough. Not today though, because white is winning all their games. Anish Giri coming up with some nice ideas here. Or repeating his homework, which he displayed against Grishuk, getting an advantage and beating Vishy Anand. Hikaru against the Najdorf chooses, well, at least to my mind, an offbeat move in 6 bishop d3.
Yeah.
Like, normally this looks like a more attractive square, and this looks like a more attractive square. But sometimes the middle is the way to go. And beat MVL. Levon, we've mentioned, very nice fresh idea, this bishop c2, sidestepping d takes c4 with a tempo and e5 in many a line. And then after rook d8, which doesn't strike me as critical, but it's a move he comes up with. This. And wins a nice game.
Yeah, Vladimir went to c8 just to keep you apprised of developments. It feels like black should be holding now, frankly, because in particular, now that you've driven the rook all the way to c8, your g6, g7 is slower by one tempo, which means that after, let's say, g6, rook e1, king d2, rook f1, after g7, white isn't in time to play rook a6 because g8 isn't a threat. So now
it's no longer mate.
Yeah, black can actually take, and it's very possible that this might be winning for black. Rook a6 is still quite annoying even here, frankly, but if all else fails, black has this option. And king h2, and if you queen... king h2 probably was a mistake, I probably should choose a different square.
All the squares available.
Yeah. But I want to play f2, and I would like there not to be a rook g2 check in white's armory here.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Game's still continuing. It's still a very sharp position, but there probably is something quite good for black here. I'm not yet sure what it is, but I'd be surprised if this was horrible. Currently struggling to name what that is. It's a bit weird.
Well, what is?
That even in this position, the threat of rook a6 is overwhelmingly strong.
Why?
What do you want to play?
Yeah, I got nothing.
There is maybe an argument for after g6 playing something like rook g8, so this doesn't happen at all, or maybe playing rook g8 here. This might be a good idea. To just have rook takes g7 whenever the rook appears on a6, and then continuing the same. Also, it's important to note that the king probably has to go to g2 in all cases,
E3.
because you don't want to be allowing e3. This is how you lose. So yeah, if white wanted... If white wanted to play g6, I feel that driving the rook to the 8th was not really particularly beneficial for him. And yeah, I can guess from context. Increment starts from move 61. People find it hard to actually believe that, but that is the time control they've chosen for this tournament. So yeah, likely there will be a time trouble in this game until move 60, and then it will become slightly easier for Fabiano, I suspect. Game probably is quite likely maybe to finish by move 60. There are all these rook e1, king d1, rook f1, king e3 repetitions possible. Okay, so the king is now sort of off the back rank. Isn't bringing the king to h4 winning now? Can we just discuss it briefly?
Bring the king to f4?
h4.
Ah, h4. I don't know.
I think maybe he didn't want to play king g3 because of rook takes f4, I'm now thinking. Does that make any sense to you?
Yep.
You're only saying that to make me feel better.
Did it make you feel better?
Not particularly.
Then I failed.
But I appreciate the effort. Rook f4 here, I think it might actually be, although probably the rook endgame is lost.
Looks lost.
Yeah, I thought king f7, rook takes c7, he'll take on c6, I'll go rook e1, but yeah, my king is so
you
poor.
should lose with this pawn structure.
Yeah, my king is so poor that this is probably an easily technically winning position.
Wiretap. Checkmate 13 is saying, before cell phones, all phone services had actual wires. Wiretap was the act of attaching a listening or recording device to those lines to hear what was being said. Much better methods are available now. So if you wanted to tap, T-A-P-P, somebody's phone, you wouldn't need to have them quote-unquote wired?
We were told to stay off politics, Jan.
I don't know, I'm just curious.
Yeah. But how do we make progress with white now? Because the bishop on f4 meant that there was a threat of bishop takes h6. How does he bring the bishop back now?
Simba is asking, Jan tired? Double question mark. No, I never tired because I am an X-Man and I have this Wolverine gift. Not only do I have an adamantium skeleton that allows me to do this, it also means I can recover very, very quickly, so I don't get tired.
Yeah.
But thanks for asking.
Our only weakness is hungry and sleepy, as the saying goes.
That is how the saying goes.
Yeah, can I explain why?
Please explain.
In the position we were discussing, I thought we can go king g3, And then we can take on h6 more or less against anything on the next move. The king...
Challenge accepted.
Please don't. I can see where this is going, but please don't. What was wrong with that, though?
I
Seriously.
with queen takes g6. Well, you say you take on h6. No, then I don't go queen g6. Come on.
Okay.
Cheat.
But what do you actually do with black here?
I don't know.
I would like to take on h6, and the difference with all the lines we discussed earlier is that, let's say you make a waiting move of some sort. I take here. You have to take, I take, you go rook e8. And now the bishop can return via f4 to the same diagonals. Although here we lose the c5
Why is this
pawn.
so great here?
Not sure. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Rook d5, who's winning?
White. No,
We
this
can't move anything. No,
this I kind of know who is winning, but I was worried that maybe black has something better. This is trivially winning for white. And the king is now on h4, but my question is, now that black managed to drive your bishop away from f4, how do you return it to that diagonal? But maybe you don't. Maybe you just play something like rook a2 here, and you claim that once the rook has to leave the a file, white just wins sort of on its own. Like rook c8 looks like the only move here, and we just go, I don't know, rook a6 and just take this pawn.
Beautiful. Does that help? I don't think it does.
I don't know.
Queen, king g4. F
Anyway, after king h4, Sergei played rook a3. Yeah, that's a better idea, so as not to... But I don't think it changes much, like I can still... But then queen f7, then my old idea of queen f7 comes back into play. Yeah, and this is why I'm wondering why he chose not to keep the bishop on f4. Well, he can play bishop f4 now.
There's a discussion in the chat. I think Ninja Kiwi 17 brought up the topic. If you consider it disrespectful to check your opponent, hoping that he does not see it's a check, so you win by him making an illegal move.
It's not something that happens exceedingly often, I would say. So
I hope for it every time I check somebody that they don't see it's check. Not so much that they make an illegal move, but that they touch some piece that would cost a lot of material in order to cover the check. Has never happened throughout my chess career, but I have not given up hope.
yeah, that's the approach.
Spirit. Don't stop believing. As for this game, I have a feeling Wesley's gonna win somehow. Speaking of, don't stop believing. He just wants it more.
I'm not sure if that's true.
Yeah,
I think his
probably not,
position is
actually.
just better. I think if he wins, it will be because his position is excellent, not because he has some motivational advantage over Sergei. I don't think Sergei ever had any particular issues with motivation.
No, that's true, and especially defending slightly baddish positions after 6 hours. Sergei is your man. I think he's the top pick. Bad position after 6 hours? I don't think you want anybody but Kayakin in that situation.
Yeah, and in Fabiano's game, now especially that white allowed rook e1, I feel like Fabiano probably, especially on 2 minutes, he will just have to play king e3, king d1.
Let's go home.
Well, I think Vladi now is wondering if he can go play for a win with rook b2. I mean rook b1. Not here, but like yeah.
Here or
No,
here?
no, you want it with a check.
Speak for yourself.
But after rook b5, I still
What have you gained?
don't see what we've achieved as black. Yeah. Well, he is checking because I think he understands that he now does have, for all intents and purposes, he now has an immediate draw at his fingertips, and he is perfectly justified in trying to figure out if there's something more. But I don't think there is.
Nope. Let's briefly recap today's round. Don't worry, we're gonna be here till the end. But until now, Magnus Carlsen lost with the black pieces against Levon Aronian. Nice game by Levon coming up with a fresh opening idea in bishop c2, then sacrificing an exchange and the pawn. And then another bishop. After rook b8, 17, bishop takes h7, king h7, knight g5 check. One key tactic being that after king g6 you go queen f3, and you can't take because e4 is a sneaky double attack.
That is extremely cute.
It's a cute and Magnus maybe at some point was in the game. There was a lot of talk about white blunder, black blunder, back and forth, but it felt like Levon was always at least the one with the easier position to play, let's put it that way. And he finished very nicely. Queen e7, very strong move. Setting up all these rook g3, queen h4 mechanisms, taking away the rook g8 defense. And that's all she wrote. Karo Nakamura won a nice game against MVL, the Najdorf player. Position looked very complicated. I have not consulted Mr. Computer yet, but apparently there was not enough attack here after h3. The threats were calmly rebuffed, and then the c-pawn, of course, wins the day. Anish Giri draws first blood, or third blood, whatever. Wins against Vichy. Got a nice position out of the opening, then it looked like Vichy came very close to equalizing somewhere down the stretch, and in this position Vichy blundered, or made a mistake, blundered maybe a bit strong, with knight c5 instead. He had to sacrifice a piece, and he should probably hold. But instead he went knight c5, g6, queen d7, and very nice finish by Anish. Bishop b4, winning by pinning. There's absolutely nothing black can do about it. If he goes out of the way, f7 falls. If he doesn't go out of the way, d4 wins material. a5, bishop a3.
It doesn't change very much at all, yeah.
Surprisingly, the white king is perfectly safe because black is so busy defending his f7 pawn. Il is asking, was it Gary's first win against Anand? No, it was not. I recall at least one other win in the same opening in 1c4.
It was in the Grand Prix, I think.
Missed some queen b1 double attack.
Yeah, I think that was one of the tournaments in Baden.
Very possibly. Wesley So had a big advantage against Sergei Karyakin, came up with a nice exchange sacrifice, but then committed one inaccuracy, probably somewhere around here. He should just have played rook e2 or any move that defends this rook. Then he can continue with queen takes c4 without allowing knight f6, because his rook would be defended after.
And the Caruana Kramnik game did end in a draw, so we should just briefly check. And yeah, you can see it on your screen. They are already discussing, and that repetition we were sort of advertising for a while did finally happen. I think Fabi will feel that this is a definite opportunity missed.
Yeah, no surprises for me though. I expertly predicted that draw, so yeah. I think Fabi must have been winning at some point, but there was always some bubbling counterplay with this g5, c5, a5, whatnot. However, Fabi won't be happy. He went to the confessional earlier, said he liked his position a lot. But Vladimir Kramnik maintains his world number 2 spot by holding Fabi to a draw.
Another one of those all 2800s battles there will be.
And you've mentioned all these battles are extra relevant because you can qualify for the candidates tournament by rating. They only have 2 spots. So Wesley So, Vladimir Kramnik, and Fabian Caruana, the 3 2800s, not named Magnus Carlsen. I'm not sure if that's true.
No,
but these 3 dudes are in the running.
There's also currently Shahriar Mamedjarov, but
he's 2800.0. Wow.
Yeah.
But the favorites to gain the rating spots are Kramnik, So, and Caruana. The rating spots are given by your average rating from every list of the 12 lists throughout the year 2017. So every game they play against each other has added importance for those lists.
So only one game is still remaining, and perhaps there have been some developments. People are asking why Wesley cannot play g5 right now. He can, but we were discussing this type of position somewhat earlier, and the thing is, we're not sure if White is winning this.
Losing.
Oh, yeah, and the thing is, now you've given up black. You've given up so much, and you've given black, I think, enough trumps to actually run some risks of losing, and that's not a particularly comfortable situation suddenly after being very much in control and in no danger whatsoever for more or less the entire game. To suddenly put the third result back on the table is not, that great of a feeling. Although I think if white doesn't go completely crazy here, he shouldn't lose. Wesley played bishop c7, rook d4. We've sort of seen this before. Bishop c7 is almost always answered by rook d4 because after bishop d8, Sergei needs to have rook d4 d8 as a reply. Ed queen takes d8, keeping the e8 square under control. But now black is probably winning because this king suddenly is a lot safer than its counterpart on g3. So this will not happen. Bishop c7, rook d4. I think it's likely that Wesley now will find some kind of repetition to get to move 60.
I disagree, by the way. This should be a dead draw, no? What do you do?
Queen b8.
Your king Victor.
Yeah, I thought I will actually be able to start giving checks, and I was wrong probably. Hang on a second. Was I?
Okay, now that it matters, it's not a winning attempt that much we can.
Interestingly,
Establish.
Sergei allowed his rook to get completely locked in.
Wow, he went passivo.
No, but after bishop c7, rook d4, Wesley played bishop f4, so he did get back to that setup. And after bishop f4, I was kind of wondering about this earlier, and we were discussing the question why Wesley decided not to do it on a previous move, somewhere around move 52. But Wesley actually improved his position somewhat, because I was making an argument for doing exactly that here, playing king g3 here with the rook on e2. And he eventually got the same position with the rook on e3, which is probably not that important, but it covers your king slightly more. So
But now we can go g5. What do you do? Breakthrough.
Okay.
h6. King.
Ah.
So earlier there was always some rook on the fourth or whatever, but this?
That is a very, very good spot. But hang on. Can I give all of my stuff away in time?
I'll take. Now you want a stalemate, but I'll let this pawn live.
Yeah, not gonna work.
King f7. Even king e8, we must contemplate.
No, but the rook is hanging. Rook f3.
Rook f3.
Queen takes g6. Queen g6. Yeah, okay. This doesn't work.
Okay. Deal with the dude.
How?
I don't know.
This actually is a draw.
Beautiful.
But it does feel like white should be
like we
winning
should.
somewhere along the way. F5 check, king f5, g4 has to be winning somehow. You probably aim the rook at king e6, g3. You go rook
Here we have
f3
rook
or something.
f3. Yeah. This is
Well, I mean rook
just
e7.
in time.
No, rook e7, bishop e7, g2. What changed? Still the same. Maybe now there's no mate to the white king, so to speak. No, you can actually
you
take
should
on
take
e7
on e7
first. Yeah.
first. Yeah, keep the pawn.
King d6 anyway. Yeah, rook e6.
King. We're not winning this. Maybe. Zugzwang.
Is it?
I don't know. I just say stuff.
Rook f6. Rook g2. And then we bring the king over to b6, and then at some point go rook d2, d6, and we probably win. Yeah, so this might actually be winning now for Wesley, but and also very, very successfully. He made it to move 60 by extending fully, improving his position completely, and not committing anything that would require a lot of calculation until getting that extra 15 minutes, which is a very, very smart idea. He is an exceedingly strong practical player, you have to say. He really understands how to do all these things in the most practical way possible.
Yep, And he looks interested. He seems to be calculating. G5.
He's trying to figure out if he's winning after. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is calculating something very similar to what we've just shown on the board. It's easier for us because we can just throw pieces around. They're not our pieces, but. And as someone mentioned in chat, if the worst that can happen is a draw, surely you go for it. Sort of, but the other thing is there could be even better opportunities he could have here. So
this position, the worst that can happen is a draw applies anyway, right? He's not going to lose this unless he blunders horribly.
Yeah, I mean he can just go king g3, king h3 forever. Also, with the rook on the 7th, I have to say that apart from g5, your winning attempts are actually somewhat limited. Because earlier... Is that true? Because I think you can't really move any of your pieces anymore because you cannot allow rook takes e7. Which means that you can only maybe decide that your rook is better on e6 or e1 or some square. But
everything is correct now. So you go g5 now or never.
Yeah, but it does feel like this is the absolute ideal setup for white, and he should now expend all his energy trying to figure out if he's winning after g5 and either go for it or not, just as Jan said.
I need to go for some sort of nutrition, be it in liquid or non-liquid form. Or I might collapse life on air, which, I don't know, might be
Great
not a pretty sight. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like. Could go for it, but I prefer raiding the fridge and being back in a couple minutes. See you guys then. Bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the show where we talk to interesting people. That is the motto of this program. Except for we don't have any guests, so it's just us. But there is one game still going, and that is the game between Wesley So and Sergei Kayakin. This is every commentator's dream. You're sitting there for 6-7 hours. It's hot in the studio from the burning lights. You're a little dehydrated, but there is still Sergei Kayakin defending a slightly worse endgame. So let's figure out what happened because Wesley
Well, people are suggesting that.
went for it.
Yeah, in the line we were talking about, I think they are getting there, but after a 5 check, people are suggesting. Wesley's currently thinking, but I mean, maybe there is some argument for just going King G4 here, but I think it's a bit fanciful.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Rook E8, he is not giving the H7 check at the
Oh,
time.
you want to go here?
Yeah, and I'm wondering if this is what he's trying to figure out, but it
why don't
feels
you
it
take
feels
the
completely
pawn?
unnecessary. Yeah, King F5, King G7.
I win now with black.
Yeah, he does play H7, King H8, and King G4 he will also be played because I think if you give black a tempo to play Rook B4, you might never have another opportunity to cross this.
Yeah, don't want this.
So King G4 F5, and people in chat are suggesting that King takes F5 is a mistake and King G5 is cleaner. I don't really see what the difference is because after F4, but again, take on A7 twice. It's the same mechanism.
Well, this was winning, wasn't it?
No, I think you need the king on d6. Here it might not be winning because after Rook F4, Rook E5 check, I think it's just draw because I will go Rook E4 after you go to the fourth.
If I go here,
Rook E8. I have a feeling this is just a draw. I think we need the king on d6 in order to, and even then, I think it will be extremely difficult to force black to take on g6. This might not be winning at all. Like black needs to start giving away his pawns straight away, but once he starts, I think it's not that easy to stop. It's a very, very straightforward plan.
King G4 on the board.
Yeah, and Sergei needs to, I think he needs to start shedding those pawns straight away. I mean, if you can't allow the king to get to f7. And yeah, f5 check already played, unsurprisingly. I'm sure they both realize what's happening, and Wesley is now scrambling to find sort of enough time to avoid this from...
What about not taking any of the pawns?
But how are you winning this position?
Yeah, at some point I have to take one.
Yeah, f4.
What, like, yeah.
And rook, whoa. Doesn't work though, yeah?
No, not quite, because you take on E7.
Yeah, I take
would
on
be
E7.
cute.
Would be extremely cute if this worked.
And if I go here?
Yeah, that could be an issue.
I want to go here and here.
Okay, king h5, g4 first.
G4 first.
G3. Rook e7.
And we're back.
And we're back. I
We're
mean,
back
this is
in
once
the
again.
building.
This is once again a dead draw. I feel. Rook g5, rook e7, then rook e5 check, rook h5 check. Yeah, you should just And Vesek has already taken on g5, so he doesn't want any of that. Or maybe he wants to go rook e4. I think that's the point. f4, rook e4, f3, rook f4. But how is this helping anyway? Yeah, like takes, f2. How is this helping? Bishop f6 maybe.
Yeah, that's good to be useful.
Yeah,
this changes.
Yeah, this changes a great deal. Yeah, king h6 now. Yeah, that. Okay, so this is currently our best winning attempt. Yeah, for rook e4 specifically. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
It's a nice.
Where is that from? I feel I should know, but I don't.
Borat, probably.
But also, we didn't need to go bishop f6 there because we could just take on f2. There are no checks. You could just take on f2. It was like some kind of a mass hallucination.
Oh yeah, that's.
That was
bad
not that bishop f6 is a mistake, but rook takes f2 is somewhat cleaner. Okay.
So you start. No. So
Yeah, this is just dead, I guess. Can black play rook b1 or something here? and hope to force you to take on f5 very, very early on.
That I do not know. But now it's gonna be hard for you to hustle back and give everything here, no?
Just king takes f5 or something, yeah?
I'm not sure if immediately kinda don't have a move that creates a threat like this. Maybe.
Rook g1.
Now I take.
Yeah, it will be difficult for me to combine stalemate ideas with everything else. King e6.
We back in the building. Y'all thought I was gone.
Yeah, we need to, after rook b1, I need to be a lot more precise somehow. So let's go rook e... no, that's not good.
We're being informed, but who knows? Who can trust all these leakers out there these days that rook b1 is still a draw?
And he has played rook b1.
No secrets for Mr. Kayakin in this position. Very resilient.
But wait a second. King f5, just rook b7 or something, yeah?
Yep.
Rook a3. I'm not sure what I want, but...
Yeah, I guess I have to wait passively.
Rook a6.
Can't wait passively forever.
Yeah,
What's going on? There must be some solution to this.
rook a3 probably
Riddle.
you go below again. Rook a3, rook b1 and start giving those checks. Check. But it goes to no. Here I think, like rook e1.
Oh yeah.
That I thought was a draw. Yeah, it's very confusing, and I have to say that it's extremely confusing for us, and you can only imagine how confusing it is for the players after 6+ hours of dealing with a lot of complicated questions. And it looks like if there is a win for white here, it is far from trivial.
King f4 is a win according to Sertas in the chat.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much faith I have in that assessment.
Ortriadal is saying, in case anyone's wondering, the difficulty for white here is that black wants to give everything away and end up stalemated. Indeed. That is his plan.
Yeah, very, very confusing position. Also, this is the final time control, so you only have the limited time to solve it.
But now they get increment.
Yeah, I'm struggling to figure out what's happening here in any kind of reasonable time frame. Been staring at this for a while, and no sudden flights of inspiration are appearing.
Sorry, man. So let's play this move.
Rook g1. Rook e6 maybe, but then we don't threaten anything again. Maybe we threaten rook. Or rook f1, no, rook f1 check. No, this is, I think, just an immediate draw, right? If we cross to the
Yeah,
e.
then rook e1.
Yeah, takes on e7. Drew. Yeah, and Certas has now scaled back and is saying it might not win.
Rook A3 by Wesley.
Yeah. I would go F4. I think the situation is generally simplified by giving this away immediately and then starting to give check. Or maybe Rook G1 check, it kind of achieves the same thing. Yeah, I quite like Rook G1 check. I don't think White can give up on G6, and yeah, and here you go Rook F1, and you continue giving those checks forever. Really, yeah. This we've kind of established that you cannot really go to G7, I think. Maybe you can go to G7 after Rook E7, regardless which rook you can play. King takes C6, but yeah, Rook E1. Rook takes C3, and Rook takes C7. Jimmy Ray says if I were white, I'd probably sack the bishop on G7, but I'm very weak. You're not weak. It's a decent suggestion, sort of in general, because it solves your stalemate problems. On the other hand, you do need to have made a lot of progress before you can give away a full bishop and also activate the black king. We were trying something similar in some lines, but you really need to have the king already somewhere on the D7 square before that becomes even remotely feasible.
Yep. Rook G1 check, king takes F5 is on the board.
I have a feeling this actually is a draw now. I don't see how white makes progress. I just give those checks. If the king goes very far away from the G6 pawn, I can attack the G6 pawn. And if the king goes forward, we just... well, if it crosses the e-file, we go Rook E1, Rook E7.
Yep. Chill and peacefully. That's the thing with all these bad kayaking games. You normally know he's gonna draw them. It's just he's gonna take his 8 hours.
Also, I think in this position, Rook G1 is an immediate draw.
Rook G1.
Yeah, with the idea of taking with the rook on the E8, like irrespective of your move. Rook A7, Rook 8 takes E7. Bishop E7, Rook E5 check, and then I demonstrate just how many checks I can give with a single piece.
I need all the checks I can give.
Yeah. This is, I think, a fairly easy draw actually.
Really? Just keep your rook on the e-file on whatever rank the king is?
Yeah, and I can take, if you interpose, I can take. And
the question is...
Yeah, I think, yeah, Rook G1, and he has actually played Rook G1.
Yeah.
You have to admire just how incredibly difficult it is to win a game against Sergei. Tremendously good defending.
He's enjoying this stuff greatly.
Yeah, and you're right, Nate, and King E6, D7 takes E6 was an idea, and this is why Sergei just completely prevented it by playing Rook G1. I'm somewhat happy I got there before the move was played on the board, because in general I think defending difficult positions is one area of chess where I'm not fit to tie his shoelaces, but I did spot this one.
I never understood that expression. If you were fit to tie his shoelaces, would you want to do it?
Not particularly, but...
Yeah, that always felt like an odd shortcoming to me. Kayakin is saying, come on, this is a draw, Wesley. Even I'm slightly tired now.
Even I'm slightly tired, yeah. Yeah, people were saying bishop g3 on move 68, but it's the same. Once black has the option of taking and taking on e7, then he brings the rook back to the 8th, and then starts working really hard at giving away the f pawn. Like rook a3, rook e8, king f4, rook e4 check, f4, f3, f2, and then the rook starts. This probably loses, but
so close.
yeah. Wesley, I think, will feel that this is definitely a game he could have won slightly if he played slightly more precisely. I think probably in the first, in the run up to the first time controlling.
Like, come on, yeah. Allowing knight f6 is a serious mistake at this level. Let the dude.
Yeah, that was a weird choice. That was a weird choice because that is such a horrible piece there on d7. Why would you allow it to reach any kind of normal squares? Dr. Bock is saying, chess is beautiful, great games today, and hard to disagree.
With the first part, it's easy to disagree. Second part, I agree.
Yeah, this is possibly one of the best single rounds of top level chess I've seen in a while. Not a single poor game.
Yeah, it's true. Even though Anish, even though he won, I felt played a poor game.
No, I don't believe that is your actual feeling towards that.
Come on, he had a good position, then he bungled it, and yeah, got gifted half a point.
We don't know just how equal this is. We know queen takes h4 was required to continue playing, but we don't know how equal that is. And we also don't know how big his advantage actually was. We felt it was rather large, but we don't know if that's true or not.
I should clarify, I'm just trolling Anish. Congratulations on a nice victory. Beating Vichy, never easy.
Yeah. Something I can testify to, having never done that in a classical game.
Neither have I. I beat Hikaru. I have 100% against Hikaru, the tournament leader. Is he the tournament leader? He is, right?
He is the tournament leader, yeah, very much so.
Can we bring that up somehow? This will take a bunch of hours. It's Tekian.
Yeah, there you go. Almost.
Hikaru Nakamura, 3 out of 4. Levin Aronian, after a nice victory today, 2.5 out of 4. Vladimir Kramnik, 2.5 out of 4. Fabiano Caruana, 2 out of 4. Anish Giri, sticking to his rapping name, 50%, 2 out of 4. Magnus Carlsen, the world champion, 1.5 out of 4. Will this be unpleasant flashbacks for him to 2015, where he scored 3.5 out of 9? Or was it 3? Didn't score a lot of points in Norway Chess 2015. Wesley So will have 2 out of 4 in a minute. So will Sergei Kayakin.
And the game actually has finished already. Wesley, after rook g1, he took some time to check whether there's anything better, but he did allow the stalemate without running with the king all over the board. Very picturesque final position. White seems like white is a bit better here, but not in the cross table.
Do you agree with people that say you should get 0.75 at least for?
I was about to bring that up. I don't, but when you look at a position like this, it crosses your mind. But the rules are there for a reason, and I mean the biggest issue is your entire endgame theory will have to be reworked.
Oof. It would take me like minutes of studying to get back to my endgame level. I believe that is it for today. What a round in Norway chess number 4. My apologies for the occasional hiccups. My apologies for me pretending to be tired for the last 2 hours. That was all me playing mind games. I'm as fresh as a spring chicken. Thanks to Peter Svidler, as always, for carrying the show, spotting a lot of amazing trickery and gossip. We shall be back. Are we back tomorrow? I don't know what day it is anymore.
We are back tomorrow.
Sunday is tomorrow.
Yeah, no weekends for us.
If you are in Europe, you have all the time in the world to go to church, take a little nap, then show up at 4 p.m. If you are in the US and I don't know what time zone you're in, Calnearing. It seems to always be early in the morning where you are, Cal, which I'm assuming is Ohio, but I could be wrong. So thank you guys for watching. It's been a blast as always. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye-bye.